Okay, welcome.
Hello,
Welcome.
G'day.
This
How's
is
it going?
Just Because.
Just Because
Cosplay podcast, COSCAST.
Hosted
by Jeremy, also known as Mangle Phantom, and also...
Marmalade, also known as Maya.
You prefer Maya or Marmalade in there?
It depends what setting.
Right, so
Yeah.
conventions, it's like, please call me Marmalade.
Yeah.
And then people who know you personally, it's
Yeah.
Maya.
Well, it's too long to say, so...
Do you have like a cosplay nickname? It's like, hey, look, it's Marmals.
Oh, no.
Like
It's either Maya or Marmalade.
Marmalade, nothing between.
But I like, now at uni, because we do like a lot of directing stuff,
Yeah.
I like telling people, no, you can call me Marmalade.
That's cute. And they're like,
kinda cool.
I like that nickname.
Yeah.
It suits the orange aesthetic.
It's like a tag, I don't know. It's like artists, like Banksy, I don't know.
It's true. Make our way through the cosplay world.
Yes. Anyway, we're both cosplayers and we like to talk a lot and we get along kind of a bit.
Pretty well.
Today's episode will be about...
Cosplay competitions. We decided to pick this one as a very good kind of launching topic because we've cosplayed together once. And it was for a competition.
And it was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. And we ended up doing pretty good. So
we kind of won.
And so we didn't think we'd have to do it again, but we're going to do it again.
In Japan.
Next year, which is a really cool opportunity. Yeah. So...
The competition we entered...
was WCS.
Yes. The World's Cosplay
Summit. Welcome to anyone who doesn't know us. And if you don't, we'll do a little bit of an introduction, I suppose.
Okay.
So just... Following up from what we just said before, we will be representing Australia next year in Japan for WCS. So we thought we'd kind of... What we discovered is that when we met up to talk about stuff, we just wouldn't stop. So we thought, hey, let's record some of this. It might be fun. And kind of share our thoughts and experiences. And because there's just so much to talk about in cosplay.
We have a lot of opinions.
Some of them are good. Some of them... Some of them. We'll share them, and if you agree with them, let us know. And if you don't, then let us know.
Yeah.
But we'll see how we go.
Is that who we are? We're the team that talks.
Probably a bit too much. Bit too much.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, Maya, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how did you get into cosplay? How did you kind of get started on this journey?
I think it's been around 10 years now. I do cosplay, I do commissions. I'm mostly a seamstress, so I like to make costumes that are mostly fabric based. I don't do armor or anything yet that I just don't know how to do those things. I'd love to get a 3D printer, but anyway. I also do a lot of idol activities. I'm in an idol group called Melody Parade, and we have just started making our own music too, which is pretty exciting.
That's cool.
Yeah. I also make original costumes for them, so I do a lot of everything. I'm also a film student, but costuming is my main passion, I would say, and everything else kind of aligns with that. But yeah,
cool.
I'm always looking to learn new things and do new things, try new things out, and
make this podcast. See how we can use your film background.
My film background, yes. Well, this is all your setup. They're lovely. Do you like our setup today? It is very nice. I like the
We'll add a little insert of everything before, but trying to set this up for the first time was about 6 hours of headache.
Yeah, of cable management.
Oh my god,
we have cables everywhere.
Something just wasn't working, and we had to make do with what we had, and I'm still waiting for more cables to come in, so you might see the video frame right now. It's like, oh yeah, nice setup, one microphone, the side by side. There is about 10 centimeters or less of space between us.
I think that this aligns though with our mindset of just one microphone, because it's simple. Sometimes you don't need to get too complicated with things.
It's true.
Although the other things are very complicated. But sometimes simple's the best way. If it works, it's okay. It's going to be high quality audio. We can guarantee that, right?
We'll do our best. But look, room for improvement.
Yeah.
Room for improvement. We've got a camera which is too close. I'm getting a longer cable, I promise. So, you'll get more of the background, but for now we kind of crammed it all into 2 sections of a desk, a Sonic background, and
we got Sonic and Knuckles today.
and a few ring lights. It's good.
Yeah. What about you? Do you want to introduce yourself again?
Sure.
A little bit about Mangle Phantom.
Mangle Phantom. So the premise behind that name, that's a story for another day.
I've always wondered. You have to say it. One day. You know.
One day. It's a bit of a long story,
okay.
So I'll get to that.
Okay.
So I started making costumes when I was in high school, just like everyone else, but I've been doing this for about 15 years now.
Boomer,
it's me. Boomer.
We both are.
Not that old. But I've been doing it for a while. Yeah, I think I do a bit of everything. I'm not particularly great at anything. I'm not particularly terrible at anything, I'd like to think. I had a bit of a reputation for a while for hot gluing everything. I love hot glue, but I don't think people give me enough credit. I do sew.
Oh, no.
I can sew.
I haven't seen you sew anything.
Really?
No.
Oh, well, the one costume we've done together, I did no sewing.
I know.
It's all hardware.
And the only thing I've seen you do is iron on a patch onto your iron-on hole.
And it was great.
It was
Could
great.
you spot it?
But it was glue again. That's glue.
That was iron-on glue.
Exactly.
It was
still
hot glue.
It's still glue.
I'll show you the pants later.
Yeah. But they are good. They are good.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's a costume I bought online and then had to edit it because it was too chunky anyway. That's something I want to talk about later is the fit of suits in particular.
Suits, yeah. Always
people.
terrible. Always terrible. Cheap.
I'm gonna show you how to suit up. Okay. But yeah, no. So my background is I don't have an artistic professional background. I am a business student, or was a business student, and I am basically a social skills and confidence coach now for geeks and introverts like me.
Yeah.
Where I used to be. So I just actually finished making an online course, my very first one.
Heck yeah.
It's on the market now. We'll put more links in the description below if you're keen on checking it out.
Heck yeah.
But yes, that's what I do. I help out fellow geeks and introverts get better with their confidence, with their social skills, help them be themselves, help them love themselves a bit more, and
all good things.
Yeah, all good things.
And you also do a lot of panels, right, at conventions recently?
Panels at the last few years I've been kind of taking what I know and putting it on the stage and having a chat with people that way. But because of the nature of, I think, the people who do like to listen to my content, I don't get too many people talking to me because they're scared. I try not to be intimidating, but I can't help it.
You're doing good.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. But yeah, that's us in a nutshell. We like making costumes, and we decided to, I guess, make this topic about competitions. Because cosplay competitions in particular.
Yeah. There's a lot going on at the moment. There's kind of a big shift happening in the Australian scene, at least, with competitions, kind of phasing out of the old and bringing in the new style of competitions, which is really exciting to see.
What would you define as old style and new style?
So, well, we've got our, rest in peace, MNCC, the Madman National Cosplay Championship, doesn't exist anymore. I'm pretty sure the Odyssey...
Well, that's the Crunchyroll one?
No, the Odyssey was the Oz Comic Con.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's possibly gone.
I think that's coming back.
Maybe coming back? Okay, then the Supernova one. It was
the Supernova competition.
Yeah, they did. They had like the champion crownship of cosplay.
Oh, they did, didn't they?
But anyway, all those competitions are kind of phasing out. I would say the last one left of the old days is WCS, and I think the only reason they have survived is because they did that huge crowdfunding campaign to keep going.
Right.
But now we're seeing the new wave, which is the introduction of the Crunchyroll Cup, which is offering huge cash prizes, and that's a first for the Australian events, anime events, definitely.
As most of the prizes for competitions that, I guess, Australian conventions usually get would be merch or vouchers.
Yeah, vouchers, always.
Or products.
Yeah. I feel like I should double check the Supernova and Odyssey things.
To
be honest.
Give a search up.
Because, I should have researched this.
No, that's fine. Because the Crunchyroll competition, it's $5,000 to first place, which is unheard of for an Australian competition. We've never had a cash prize. Maybe the EB Expo once upon a time had one.
Maybe, possibly.
But we don't have anything like, the Blizzard, Championship Cup or...
No.
What does AX and stuff do, like the American conventions?
I'm pretty sure they had a cash prize as well. I'm pretty sure. Right. I remember, looking, Because, and also, we don't really have those tiers of competitions, whereas America does. And other countries, I think, do, where you have, like, the amateur, the masters divisions, things like that. We don't have that.
Once upon a time we did.
Oh, really?
Once upon a time.
I didn't know that.
So there was an old convention in Australia called Animania that existed up until about 2012, 2013. There were like a big, let's say, beginner, and there was advanced. So there were different tiers and different prizes. But I think that's all it was. Like, beginner is, this is my first year of cosplay, or I've only been doing cosplay for less than 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I think once upon a time I had a friend who told me, Animania, Saturday, because, conventions on the weekend, there's Saturday and Sunday. Typically, would you agree that Saturday's the busier day?
Always, yeah.
So they did say that the Saturday Animania Open Division competition was the hardest one to win at one point in time.
Yeah.
But that convention went under. There's a history behind that, but that's another story for
So
a long
usually
time ago.
competitions didn't have a cash prize. So the motivations for entering were usually kind of like for your own reasons, right?
Yeah.
To prove yourself that you can do
yourself.
something, to do a performance or something like that.
Challenge yourself, yeah.
Yeah, to challenge yourself. It was never really like driven about money or like opportunities even.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we saw like a whole lot, an age of cosplayers go through these comps.
Absolutely.
And absolutely kill it, but kind of not receive much in return, I think. Like, a lot
think-
of them have unfortunately left cosplay now.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's because they didn't win competitions.
You don't think so?
I think it's just because...
Oh, not that they didn't win. It's more like the prizes weren't like
worth entering for, you think?
not worth entering, but like they necessarily didn't really support them fully.
Yeah.
In the same way that in the Olympics or other mainstream events would have cash prizes for things.
Because I told you recently that if you go to the Olympics...
I didn't know this until today.
So if you go to the Olympics and you... Obviously, it takes a lot to prepare for the Olympics.
Yeah.
It's a whole lifestyle based around just preparing for this one event, which you can get knocked out first round.
Yeah.
Maybe if you win a medal, great.
Yeah.
But if you win a medal for an event, your country typically will reward you some way. So I think Australia... A gold medal will get you $25,000.
That's insane.
I think.
I didn't know that.
But think about that.
I wish I'd known that as a kid.
Right.
I was like nearly a rowing Olympian.
Right.
Nearly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, nearly.
You could have gone and become a
I
gold
know.
medalist.
We had this amazing coach who was always like, write Tokyo Olympics on your light switch, and every night when you switch it off, you'll think about going.
That's cool.
Yeah, he was a really good guy.
Good coach.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they will give you, depending on which country you come from, depending on how rich it is as well, the government will typically reward you for your achievements.
Yeah.
I know some smaller countries, you can look this up on the internet, but some smaller countries, get a gold medal will give you a house. You go to...
I want that.
I think,
house.
but depending on the country, some will be small cash prizes, some will be bigger, some obviously they put a lot of focus on their, athletics and swimming programs and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
but
Definitely Australia, yeah.
yeah, but in unfortunately in the same vein where we see WCS as like the cosplay Olympics.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's an equivalent, I suppose. It's not like a government funded thing, it is a private, competition.
Yeah.
Private organisation.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like so I guess the overarching question of, us talking about competition is it still worth entering competitions in today's I guess current climate?
Yeah, I think it totally is. With Crunchyroll, I think the 3 or 4 top places are all huge cash prizes. I think that's great. It's really encouraging as a cosplayer to see, oh wow, they're valuing us that much.
Absolutely.
Like, that's awesome to see. And I was wrong. Apparently, with Odyssey, you can, in each heat, you can win $1,000 cash prize. So, by Supernova, so...
Okay, so there's a cash prize. Oh, there's more cash prizes coming out now.
Yeah, but there's also still a lot of vouchers, so...
Oh, look, I think it's like a sponsor thing. Or,
for sure. Yeah.
Getting people wanting to enter the competitions. I actually wrote down here as well, I think entering competitions is overall a good thing, but it needs to be done for the right reasons.
Yes.
I think if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, which I'll list out in a second, which we can discuss as well, you're just going to be setting yourself up for disappointment.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to be thinking, what's the point? What's the point of making these big costumes? So, before I wrote these down.
Yeah, okay.
What if I was to ask you, what would be some of the biggest, let's say, advantages, or what are some of the biggest draws for saying you should enter a competition for cosplay?
Oh, gosh. Like, personally, or just what I think in general?
Both. Let's go both.
For me personally, it would definitely comes back to proving myself, and then also kind of showing, like, literally proving my parents that I take this seriously.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's for me, it's like I am taking this seriously. Like, I want to enter this. I'm a bit competitive, I think, so I do enjoy challenging myself with the sewing and everything to make something that I can be really proud of and be like, I put my best into that and be able to not show that off a bit, but kind of feel capable, that I'm capable of entering something like that.
Do you feel like your parents have never kind of taken your hobby as something seriously?
Definitely,
or they've kind of told you, why are you doing this?
Oh, my dad has point blank told me that I'm not a functioning adult, so...
That's not very nice.
It's not. It's not.
I'm sorry I had to...
It's okay. Yeah. We're getting there. Don't believe anything your parents tell. No. Don't believe...
I think take it with a grain of salt, but definitely put your own, as I tell people, as a coach, put your view of yourself over anybody else's view of yourself. For sure.
But when you're still growing up, your parents can have a huge impact on that. So I think in the past, I've still been growing up a lot. I'm still I'm still young. I'm still kind of outgrowing my parents' beliefs. So when I first started entering competitions, that was definitely a major motivator for me to be like, okay, this is a chance to be taken seriously, to like kind of one up what I'm doing, level up, you know, like level up.
That's good.
So, and then it kind of became... like with WCS, entering WCS, it was kind of like, okay, this has always been on my bucket list. I've always thought, oh, I'll do it next year, do it next year. But now it's sort of that drive to be like, no, you know what, I'm going to do the things that I want to do. So, kind of chasing those dreams that I've had for a while.
Well, in the past, because I know you kind of chatted to me about it last year, just saying, hey, you're interested in doing this. Did you have anyone in mind that you probably, in your friends group, that would have taken it as seriously as you did? Or, well, not even taken it seriously, but would have been as keen to enter a competition with you? Because for WCS, you do need a partner. It's not a solo competition, unfortunately.
I think that was also, one of my reasons is... for wanting to do WCS, especially, is to wanting to collaborate with other people who are passionate about craftsmanship and making things. Because unfortunately, I don't think I would have had someone back then to enter competitions with me, because a lot of the girls and a lot of the friends that I had around me were people who just bought a lot of their costumes, and they weren't as interested in making... in
the crafting aspect and the competition aspect, I suppose. Okay. That's really cool. Because I do remember as well, just on a similar vein, when I was starting to do competitions for the first time in the Mad Men. That was kind of the first big competition I did. I still got from my parents so much, just from my mum's like, oh, is this your last costume? Oh, is this your last costume? Oh, you're still doing cosplay? I think my dad never really
That's so discouraging.
It is. It is.
And you doubt yourself, because then you're questioning, oh man, is it?
Is it? I don't know. Is it supposed to
be?
Should
it be? Should
it be? Yeah. But
should I give up?
I think after a while, my dad's in his own way, you know, fathers, they'll be encouraging, but discouraging sometimes, but they're not really, I guess, aware of what they're doing. I guess I did a competition, because I'd been doing it for a little while at this point in time. He was like, oh, did you win? I was like, oh, yeah. He was like, oh, good on you. And that was it.
Okay, that was it. No praise, no shock, no...
It's not as if I need to be like, wow, good job. It doesn't need to be anything like that.
No.
But...
you just feel like, wow, I'm really impressed. Good on you.
Yeah.
Congratulations. But, I don't know.
Because even for the one that we just did, obviously we're going to Japan. Representing Australia for a pretty big thing.
Deal.
I think I just said it in passing. It's like, oh, by the way, I'm going to Japan next year. It's like, oh, that's cool. What's that for? It's like, oh, you know, just doing costumes. You know, we won this big competition. It's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it. That's it. But I think
my dad reacted the same.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's like one of those things that unless you are a cosplayer or you do know what is involved in the making of a big costume or a competition as such, it's really kind of difficult to convey that to other people. Because the only one who really knows how much, you know, effort and work and time and stress and you know, blood, sweat, and tears went into it is you, and to a lesser extent, anyone who also has done competitions. So
competitions are a whole nother level. I think if you've just cosplayed casually, experiencing a competition it's completely different.
I think one of the good things is, and I think if you are ever interested in doing crafting in particular, enter at least one big competition in your life, just to see if it is something that's for you. Because I definitely know people who have entered once, see what it's like, they're like, oof, definitely not for me. But there are people who obviously love it, and they get hooked on it. It's like, oh, I love making things and seeing how far I can push myself. And
I can see that with my little sister Pip.
Yeah.
She's fully hooked on it because she also entered WCS the same round as us, and she came second with her teammate Beth, and they want to enter again next year. Same as Nyx. Nyx really wants to enter again next year as well. So I think there is something about them that gets you hooked on them if you're the right kind of person, if you enjoy it. But they're like raring to go now.
It's really nice.
Like reignited a kind of passion for cosplay that maybe it wasn't as strong before. Yeah.
Well, that's really good. I think well, I guess for me, maybe because I've done so many competitions now, it's like, oh, cool, here's another one. Cool, I know what's involved.
How many have you done? Have you
Let's
said?
count. No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Okay, look, I can count for you.
Okay.
So now, when I say competition, I'm talking like big ones.
Yeah.
Let's say big ones. So, Madman Nationals.
Yeah.
2011, 2012, 15, 16, 17.
I was in there.
You're in one of them.
17.
17?
Yeah, 17.
Maybe 18?
Yeah.
Not sure. That makes 6. And then WCS I did 2015. And then I did last year. And I did this year.
Oh my god.
So at least 9 big ones.
That's insane. That's a lot of experience.
It's a lot. But, you know, it's definitely a different experience with a different person.
Yeah.
So I did have a partner each time. I never entered anything solo. I just feel it's more dynamic when there are 2 people to work with.
Yeah, for sure. And less stress on you.
Depends.
Depends.
It depends. I think if you've got a good,
Oh, no.
good working relationship with
Yeah.
your cosplay partner, it
Yeah.
can definitely add to the experience. And unfortunately, it's one of those things that's kind of like, let's say, a romantic relationship in which you don't really get to know what someone's like until you start to go through, let's say, conflicts together.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, for example, you know, your first boyfriend or your first girlfriend or your first partner, you have an argument for the first time, and you don't really know how they'll react, how they're going to treat you, how, you know, you're going to get through that argument. You know, it's the first time for everyone, absolutely. But I think it's the same way with a cosplay partnership, in which, you're going to get stressed. Yeah, you're going to have disagreements. Yeah, you're going to, you know, not see eye to eye on everything. And I think it really depends on, you know, obviously how each person as individuals handle stuff like that. Because some will be, you know, my way or the highway, or like...
So basically what you're saying is you need to pick someone who's the same star sign as you.
Read the horoscope.
Clearly
make
it
sure
works.
it aligns.
No.
But it's definitely, I think, one of those things which is difficult to predict.
Yeah.
You can't until...
No, you can never predict
you're in the
how
midst
you're
of
going to
it.
work with anyone in any scenario,
Yeah.
like in any environment.
Any environment.
Yeah.
Because the first time I did enter, it
Yeah.
was with my best mate at the time. And...
I don't think I know this.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
stories, here we go. So the first one that I did do was Madman 2011.
Yeah.
I did
So long ago.
long ago. So this is quite literally more than 10 years ago
Literally
now.
like 10.
So, it was with my best mate at the time.
Yeah.
We met uni. We got on like a house on fire.
Yeah.
We did a series that we loved. And
Kamen Rider.
Not Kamen Rider, Star Driver. If anyone remembers Star
Okay.
Driver from 2011. And we knew the characters that we wanted to do. We had a good idea of the skit. And it was a great experience because I think at the time, I might be floating my own boat here a little bit, but I'd like to think in Australia it was probably one of the first times that someone used LEDs or like light up something on stage, which was really cool.
In the props.
In the props.
Yeah, cool.
Because I think LED lighting was a fairly new technology at that point in time. So
I have no idea.
yeah, I don't know, but now it's in everything.
Yes,
It's in every Kamui cosplay book how to do it.
Yeah.
I'm really glad to see that because I don't think it should be something that's taken away from anyone.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, that definitely was a great experience. The first round. So there's the first round, and there was the second round.
Yeah.
The second round was like
The final.
the final.
Yeah.
So, but between that and the final, this is something I learned as well. We learned from our mistakes. We took it seriously. It was like, we're going to do our best. We're going to like show that we
Were
can.
you aiming to win?
You're aiming to win.
Okay,
Aiming to win. Yeah, and as things happened, there was girls involved. There was someone that I liked. It didn't quite work. And we never kind of really saw eye to eye. And then he started dating her.
Oh man.
And then
Oh man, not
we
the
got-
bro code.
oh, bro code. Well, it's just it happens.
Yeah. Does
but-
it? Should it?
Oh,
Anyway.
different circumstances. We can go. That's going to be a topic for another time. Dating within cosplay. It can
Oh,
be
no.
good. Or it
Oh,
can be
no.
bad. Anyway, yeah. So we literally worked separately the entire time. And then we got together for the last few days. And I remember on stage, even as the judging was happening, or even before,
Yeah.
the winner of this competition was quite literally just a holiday for 2 people to Japan.
That's right, for a week, wasn't it?
For a week or something,
Yeah.
And I remember distinctly, we both said to each other, I kind of hope we don't win, because I don't think I really want to go to Japan with you.
You said that to him.
We both said that to each other, and we both nodded. And so when we didn't win, it was almost a relief, honestly.
So awkward.
It was really awkward. The next day, I think you know, I had a talking to the girlfriend at the time, just because, like, you know, we should be friends. And I'm like, look, I can't just, you know, I'm just not in that position. And there was an explosive fight.
Oh,
and
no.
The poor, you know, lollipop man holding the sign doing roadworks kind of overheard the whole thing. And he said,
This
"Is
was
like
outside. This was in public.
this was outside the convention at the time.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my
It
god.
was across the road. We went to a like quiet place. But
Caused
even
a scene.
even the poor guy who was holding the lollipop sign, because they stormed off. And
Yeah.
I was obviously by myself. Like I was not doing great. But the poor lollipop man was like, you know, I'm so sorry, dude. Just, you know, you held your grounds. You know, I'm sorry about that. Have a good day. He was really nice about it. But that was my first kind of experience with a partner.
For the competition.
For a competition.
And you didn't give up there.
No, I was just like, no, like, I reckon I can go one better next time.
Yeah.
So I found, it was another friend of mine who was very helpful to us during that whole competition.
Yeah.
They were great. But I think by that stage, I'm like, I'm going to take it less serious because I know what happened last time.
Okay.
But I think in a similar vein, just, you know, life happens and we got through the first round, but by the second round, I think we were kind of just a bit too busy with other things and it wasn't a priority at that point. So it is what it is. So that's pretty much the first few experiences. And then the next, 3-4 times after that, I entered with my girlfriend at the time. Obviously, we had a good working dynamic, but I think our relationship at that point became about cosplay and about doing competitions.
I think that's quite common actually, because you see a lot of married couples and people in relationships enter. Yeah, because I feel like they have that higher relationship with each other, so they have probably better communication than a regular friendship would.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. But then again,
the unfortunate part, I guess, for my relationship at the time was if it wasn't for doing competitions and doing that kind of thing, I reckon my relationship at the time would have ended a lot earlier.
Okay.
It was just because our working dynamic was
so
really
good.
Yeah,
interesting.
So, that was my history with competitions, really. And then I thought, nah, that's it. I'm going to just...
So many times. You say 9?
Probably about 9,
That's
I reckon.
Crazy.
9, so that's competition for me, and this year was
9 like insanely detailed or complicated costumes that you've had to make, and probably 2 each time.
I
that's
think
a lot.
1, maybe 2. Yeah, 2 times I recycled a costume.
Okay.
Recycled, so...
Only twice.
Only
That's,
twice.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy.
And even then it was like, let's revamp this, so I did something extra for it.
Have you kept all of those?
For
I can see there's a helmet up there from
there's
one
a
of them.
helmet, so... let's bring that down. We can bring that down. So, people like anime things. This is from Mimi. Oh, look at the dust.
Oh my god, ew! It's so dusty.
So dusty.
It's not even in frame.
But this is from Me. Everyone's seen this. This is made out of Warbler. I think it still fits on my head and it lights up a little bit. Where's the lights? Still turn on? No, the battery's finally dead.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not lights up. That's been sitting on my mantelpiece.
So you've kept that full suit or just the helmet?
The full suit's rotting away in the garage somewhere. But yeah,
oh my god.
There's a whole list of things up here, which is all
memorabilia.
Yeah. But I think with armor sets in particular, it takes up a lot of space. So you can, I think I took a page out of my friend's book, which was just keep one piece of it and just ditch the rest because you're not going to wear it again.
Probably not. No.
Unlikely.
But
that's competition things, which is like, it's a shame because you put so much work and effort into it, and at the end of the day, win or lose, you got your costume and you're very unlikely to wear it again because it's either so big and extravagant that it's difficult to wear, or because it's put so much time and effort into it, you're not going to bring it out unless there's a really good reason to.
Yeah, special event. Yeah, okay, yeah.
So yeah, there's special events. They don't really come along very often for
for cosplayers. There's no like balls or anything. No, but in that line of conversation, do you think it's better to make a costume on your own in your own time, and then when a competition comes up, enter it, or do you think it's better to think, oh, there's a competition coming up, let me make something new for it?
Very good question.
Yeah.
I think it's always going to be the second option.
You reckon?
Regardless. I very rarely think someone, maybe because competitions exist nowadays, people who know that they can make something really extravagant, they're going to make it with a purpose in mind.
Okay, yeah.
And it doesn't have to be with any grand ideal, like, I want to represent Australia, or I want to win a $5,000 cash prize.
Yeah.
But it is more of an intrinsic motivation, I think, to actually want to make something and put that level of effort and detail into it.
Yeah, rather than going, Jesus, take the wheel.
Just do it. I'm going to do it because this is fun. Like, people say, like, yeah, cosplay's made because we want to do it. But I think having those competitions really helps
Makes
us.
you work to a higher standard.
High standard and push to actually finish it.
Because twice now, I've had 2 costumes that I've made on my own time and then gone and entered.
Yeah, right. Which ones were they?
Those was, so MNCC 2017, I made Angelic Angel the year before for Kotori. It was a Love Live design.
Yeah, right.
And it had like embroidery all up the sleeves. It was like way more extra than it should have been, to be honest.
But you did it because you think, this competition, I'm going to...
No.
You just wanted to make it extra for the fun of it.
Yeah, I just made it.
Wow.
Originally it was meant to be with a friend, but the friend of mine ditched, so I thought it was kind of... I had that social motivation of, we're going to do this together for, I think it was Supernova or something. She didn't end up making hers, but I finished mine, so I wore it, and then I went, I think, down to Melbourne, and I thought, well, may as well enter...
Must enter in a competition.
Yeah, I could enter this, yeah.
Then you won the damn thing.
I didn't expect to. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have. According to the rules, it's like copyright-free music, and I'm pretty sure I just danced a Love Live song. So
hell yeah.
And now this year I'm entering my Yanfei costume into the CRX, into the Crunchyroll He makeup. So
awesome.
Those are 2 costumes that I've already had made that I'm now repurposing for.
I think that's the good thing about there's multiple competitions is it does give us an excuse to wear those extra competitions again. Extra costumes again. So that's cool. I think I probably would have done the same thing, reworn something for that. I don't think I'm going to go down to Crunchy.
Melbourne. No,
I'll probably go down for PAX.
It's a shame.
Flights suck.
I know.
Flights really suck. So, but I think it's going to be one of those things which I don't think because it's a brand new competition.
Yes.
Which came up with like 2 months' notice or something.
A couple, I would say like 3 or 4.
Right.
Yeah, because they announced that it was happening ages ago, but they haven't really.
Right.
Because
I know that's competition with the $5,000 prize that got announced like the weekend of Smash.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm fairly sure.
I think it was a little bit earlier.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Well, maybe a week earlier at best.
Anyway, yeah.
But I think I only know...
Not like a year. It definitely wasn't like a year.
It was more of a recent thing.
Yeah.
But I do feel like I think I only know one person I'm following who's making something for that.
For that.
I reckon everyone else entering is going to pull something
out from COVID or something, yeah. Yeah.
But it's like you kind of won a previous big competition with it before.
With Yanfei? Me?
Oh, I think I still read the rules for the Crunchyroll.
Oh yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't enter something that's won before.
That's won another big competition before. So I can pull out something that's gotten a second before, which is cool.
Yeah.
But I'm not entering.
Why not?
I'm not going down to Melbourne. That's why.
But what if you enter and you win $5,000 and then it pays for the trip?
I'd actually have to think about that. But,
anyway.
But actually, this gets me onto the next part.
Yeah,
is reasons for entering a competition. I think there is a lot of reasons why you shouldn't enter competition. Should not enter. Yeah.
All right.
So we're talking about I think you should enter for the right reasons. Right reasons to me include you want to challenge yourself. You want to do it for the experience. You want to discover. I think you learn a lot about yourself as an individual through competition in terms of how...
I think so too.
Working under pressure.
Yeah.
How much you put... how much you value yourself.
Yeah.
What priorities you have in your life. Like, am I going to sacrifice my health for this competition? Stuff
Please
like
don't.
that. Don't do that.
Please don't.
Well, if you do it, you'll learn.
Yeah.
This is what it feels like to do an all-nighter and not sleep and how bad that makes you feel.
And how bad the costume looks.
Yeah, it's like, is it worth it? Right?
Yeah, no.
Because I think everyone who's done a competition would have done that at least once.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. So, you're going to have that experience. Whether you like it or not, you will have that experience when you enter a competition. You think, I'm gonna start so early, I'm going to get it finished. No. No one does that. If you do, you're just built different.
Yes. I think I made Emma in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
You just built different.
I made Lewis.
I was working on Lewis from the day that we started announcing it. That was about 3 months of work.
Yeah, and then I went, oh shit,
I should probably
we need to get this done.
Right, so it's
anyway,
everyone's different, right?
Yeah.
But I think reasons that you shouldn't enter is
okay.
going into a competition, like for example, like the Crunchyroll one, with the expectation or like a very high... I think it's good to have belief in yourself. I think it's good to have faith in yourself. I think it's good to encourage yourself to do things. But I think it's a bad thing to go into a competition with the expectation that you are going to come out with a certain result.
Yeah, okay.
So for example, with this competition, $5,000, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Even second place is like $2,000 or something, right? That's still great.
It is, yeah.
But I think for me, I would be going down because I wanted to go check out the con. I wanted to go catch up with people. I want to go meet people. And because I so happened to be there, I might as well enter the competition.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
But at this current point in time, I don't have an intention to go down. Maybe it might change. Maybe there's like, hey, last minute flights. I'll chuck something in a suitcase and go down. That might be the case, but I know it would be a bad idea because if I flew down just to enter this competition.
Yeah.
I'll walk away with nothing, and I'll be like, that was a waste of time.
Yeah.
Journey's like...
You'd be disappointed.
You'd be really disappointed.
Yeah.
And I definitely have done that before. Example, WCS 2015. We did recycle a costume. We went just to go into that competition because we did so well in the Madman round. And we were pretty much by ourselves. We moved all these backstage props. We didn't even get to enjoy the con because we were just so busy just moving things. Enter the competition. We didn't get the result that we wanted. As we walked away thinking, that was a complete waste of time.
Yeah, that sucks.
I think actually at the time, this is one of the weekends we got flown down by Riot Games.
Oh yeah, wow, okay.
We could have spent the whole weekend in the hotel enjoying that. But no, we spent half of that weekend doing the stupid competition.
No. Yeah, that sucks.
So then we've got no one to blame but ourselves.
Yeah.
Because, there were definitely better entrants in the day who beat us. And then all we had to do was just like, we went down here expecting we're going to get the result same as last time. And it wasn't the case.
Okay, yeah.
So that's one of the big reasons for not entering a competition is going in with really big expectations. I think it's good to aim big. I think it's good to believe in yourself. But the only mindset I think you should have is I believe that I'm going to do the best I can.
Yeah.
And if I do well, awesome. If I don't, I'm still going to be proud of myself.
Yeah.
But so that's number one. Now this is the other big one. Is I don't think that you should enter a cosplay competition with the goal of getting famous.
Yeah.
Getting more viewers.
Yeah.
Or thinking that this is going to open up more doors for me. In terms of cosplay, because same thing, you just set yourself up for disappointment because you've got that expectation that winning WCS means more people are gonna want to follow me. Like I have got more followers and stuff, but it doesn't mean that I'm gonna be approached by a company and be like, wow, we heard you won this competition, I want you to be my representative for XYZ.
Yeah, for Scotland Black Tea.
Scotland Black Tea, I picked this up at the supermarket.
It's so cute.
Hit us up, guys.
It tastes really good.
Hello?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yes, absolutely. But I think when I first joined, it was seen as a way to get more eyes on you as a cosplayer. Like if you were trying to make it professionally, that if you were entering competitions, your name kind of goes around a little bit more. Like,
how's your experience been like that so far?
What do you mean?
I've definitely had me for you so far.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what effects has had.
Has it had?
Because a lot of the competitions that I went and entered were with my Love Live group, Aquaria, so a lot of that was just gone back to the group rather than me as an individual.
Right.
Even though I was the one making majority of the costumes, there wasn't like an overall credit. And I think a lot of people just dismissed Love Live groups.
Right.
In that whole era. They all just assumed that we were all buying costumes.
Right. So, do you think that's probably why you think you've started to distance yourself from doing Love Live content in particular?
I think so, especially like cosplay groups are really cool to see and they do really well, I think, in terms of like traction and attention. But with Love Live groups, I noticed that even if there's 9 of them, even if there's 12 of them, they're kind of always disregarded as just being idle, like Love Live cosplayers. Even if all of them have like handmade every single costume and like accessory, it doesn't get taken as seriously.
Yeah.
You just immediately get dismissed at first glance, which is really sad because it's kind of one of those things that's just taken at face value.
Yeah.
No one would come up to me as much as they do when I'm on my own in my own costumes that I've handmade. So I've noticed that, especially like at Smash, when we did WCS, a lot of people would just come up to me as Emma. Whereas whenever we did Love Live, it was, I think, I'm not sure if a group of 9 Love Live cosplayers maybe comes across as intimidating, but no one would want to approach at all. They would just automatically assume kind of how we would react. But we also got bullied a lot in competitions by the competition hosts and organisers.
Kind of stupid.
Oh, it's absolutely ridiculous. I would not recommend entering a Supernova cosplay competition because I think this happened 3 times in a row where the stage manager, Poke, who controls the AV that comes on screen, he would literally write like messages kind of putting teasing, poking fun at...
The con doesn't really have much
no
good
standing
reputation
ground.
at this point
Absolutely.
at all, so.
But I would be aware, because if you're a younger cosplayer, if this is your first time entering a competition...
Don't do a Supernova one.
No! Absolutely not.
One.
It was horrible. The judges in pre-judging completely ignored us. I remember going up and harassing the judges to be like, we need to get judged. We made these costumes. This was Gold Nova.
Yeah, right.
When we did the Water Blue New World set.
2018,
I think, or 19. Yeah.
Right.
And they were like, we don't need to judge you. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure you get prejudged. Like, that's something that happens. And so I had to go find another volunteer then. And then she made sure that we came around. But there were 2 other groups in that competition that day who had handmade their costumes who did not get judged.
Far out.
Yeah. Just the treatment was really bad for those 2 years. I think Oz Comic Con as well would go around disqualifying random groups because they'd been warned about jumping on stage. And they would disqualify the wrong group because they thought
they were all the same.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I got so fed up. I think definitely I love Love Live, but it absolutely affected my feelings towards doing it, which sucks because I feel like I had a lot of fun and there's a really great community for Love Live. And to be isolated like that at a mainstream anime event where you are supposed to feel included and maybe not praised, but like, goddamn, we made 9 costumes, we learned choreography, like, come on, like, at least treat us as equals would have been great, but
what do you think,
I've gone on a bit of a rant there,
that's what we do in a podcast.
I know, but it's sad, like, yeah.
Because of that, do you think as well, because I know the idol community, I'm not part of it's not my thing, I'm not really part of it, but do you feel, because it's still very active when I see it, every time you go to a con, there's always idol performances of some kind, do you feel that if you're outside the community as a judge, do you still feel treated in the same way even though you're not doing Love Live kind of stuff anymore?
As in when I'm not an idol, like covert,
let's say
when I'm doing Emma or something.
Oh no, when you're doing idol stuff,
yes.
like with Mellow Para, do you feel like you still get the same kind of treatment
versus Love Live? Idols versus Love Live. Yeah. No, it's definitely different. Definitely
do you think
different.
There's just like a stigma against Love Live in
I
particular?
think so, yes. I think so. And the stigma of Love Live community and the Love Live cosplayers, which is really unfortunate because I don't know why they have that predisposition, because everything I saw, at least in the Brisbane community and all of Australia, like the Perth groups, they're incredible.
Yeah.
Like the costumes that they made are freaking insane. Like, have you seen Stelluna and the stuff that they've done with the vinyl and the lights and the like insane costuming?
Honestly, I know 2 Brisbane groups and maybe 1 Sydney group, and that's
it's
it.
It's just a shame because they do a lot of hard work that goes unrecognised in the Australian event scene, and it's a shame about the stigma and the way that people treat. But when I'm in my idol persona with Melody Parade, people just treat you like a person. Like, yeah, they do, genuinely.
That's really interesting. Yeah. I've never kind of known that. I've never watched a full idol performance start to finish. I've stayed around for 1 song. I have watched like 1 song of you guys. I'm like, all right, no, good work, guys, good work.
I'm pretty sure Jeremy showed up at the end of one of my concerts once being like, I was in the Chinese restaurant over there and I could see you guys through the window.
I had a dinner with my family. Yeah. It was a Chinese New Year. You had it on Chinese New Year. So I went to go to the dinner and I came to pop around. Like, I say hi because like I'll support you.
It was funny. I was like, oh, Jeremy appeared.
Hello, that's me.
Hi.
That's good. That was my only real interactions. I think
there's at a concert.
At a concert.
Yeah, okay, but that's not at a convention, so that's a bit different.
Well, at a convention, I like, all right, 1 song. Yep, good work, guys. I know I can see you putting in the work. I'll leave this area for someone who is more invested into the idol stuff. But yeah, no, I think in terms of competition, it sucks because I have seen the designs of Love Live stuff.
Yeah.
And I've even seen them on the WCS stage before. Yeah. Because they're definitely...
Yeah, this year, the finals, there was, 2 entered, yeah.
But with the stigma behind it, it kind of sucks that that's been the experience with it.
It was. And even when I did MNCC in 2017, I did a Love Live character, was treated completely differently than when I cosplayed Emma with you this year. By the judges, by the team, by the everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the photographers, all of it. It's, yeah.
Well, just being in competition, and I guess one of the last points we will kind of talk about is, like I said, I think overall going into competition is good for the right reasons.
Yeah. Sorry, the wrong reasons.
The wrong
completely
reasons.
Sidetracked.
Well, that's what we're all about.
Yeah.
But I think without doubt, there's been people in competition, or there's just been people in general you get along with, people you don't get along with.
Yeah.
And obviously people in competition can take it very seriously.
Yeah.
And I think when it gets very serious, it gets very intense. And when it gets very intense, I think I stopped liking it as much.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think
it's so stressful, and there's no money in it. There's no reason really to be putting yourself through that much distress.
I think so. And I think one thing I never want to do, or a person I never want to become, is it doesn't matter how far up the competition ladder I climb or whatever it is. I don't want to become someone who gets that intense with anybody. Anybody, because I think overall it's still something that, even if I take it seriously, even if I do it for a big competition, I don't want to become someone who, wants to put someone else down because it's not up to the quality that I think's good.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to be the scary person, I suppose, because I've had that happen to me before.
Be the scary person.
Be the scary person.
Like, be the villain.
Be the villain.
Or turn into a villain.
Or,
But how do you know when you've turned into a villain?
I think it's, I like to do lots of self-reflection.
And what does that mean? What does villain mean? Does that mean your actions are then ruining someone else's experience? Yeah, okay.
I think so. I, to the best of my knowledge, I always try to talk to everyone who wants to talk to me, or whenever I do talk to someone else. I don't want to be that person who ever, is trying to give unwarranted advice or, tries to make some snarky comments about it, because...
Or gatekeep how you've made things.
Yeah, gatekeep
because that used to be kind of a problem, right? For competitions and...
The first competitive cosplay I ever talked to, this is before I did competitions.
Yeah.
They were doing something really cool. This is 2010. I can't remember which year it was, but they made armor, and this is me at 16 or 18. I'd never seen it before. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
How did you make it? The answer I got was, I will never live this down and I'll never forget it, because this was my first impression of talking to a competitive cosplayer.
God.
I asked, your arm looks amazing.
Yeah.
How did you make it?
Yeah.
They said, it's a secret. It's a secret. And I was speechless. I don't what do I say to that?
Ick.
So that was my first experience, because this is someone who was trying to obviously keep the trade secrets to themselves.
Which I find bizarre these days. Yeah.
I mean, now it's great because people yes, look, take my entire how-to manual.
Yeah, with everything, free. It's the age of information,
which is great.
Yeah.
And
I don't think you could get away with gatekeeping information these days.
So I'm glad that part of it's
changed. You would get cancelled. Or
Yeah.
called out for it.
Or called out.
Yeah.
But that was my first experience, and I don't want to become that person.
Yeah.
If someone wants to ask me a question for whatever reason, I'm like, look, I'll give you as much info as you want. I think a big thing is advice, which I hate. There's always going to be
unsolicited advice from other people.
From other people.
Okay, yeah.
Particularly if it's like, I do appreciate how a lot of competition these days, it's like, if you want feedback, let us know and give it to you, which is great.
It's optional. That's what happened at ACOCON when I was a judge. It was at the very end, after we'd given them out the prizes, at the very end of wrapping up the competition, we said, and if you would like feedback, you can come back to the judges physically, like on the day, and get some constructive criticism on your design. So
did you have many people do that?
I think we had 3 or 4 out of 27.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's very important that it's a choice that you make, that you actively... decide
to do it.
Yeah. Because I've been in several positions where I do not want to hear feedback about my costume. I know I'm my own worst critic. I know exactly what's wrong with it, so I don't need to hear it from someone else, and it can be really degrading.
It can be.
Especially if you're in a fragile mental health position, it can absolutely be the worst thing to hear. Yeah.
So I think it doesn't even need to be competition at this point in time.
No,
but
just general internet, everything, social media. Yeah, don't.
The ages don't give advice unless they ask for it, even if it's like you want to tell them, no, don't tell them. They're probably aware of it. They're probably aware of it.
Yeah. Or message them privately.
Or even if a message privately, it's like, hey Maya,
Well, it's
big fan of your work. By the way, I noticed about this costume. You could have done this.
Okay, no, I was more thinking like, hey, I'm not sure if you know, but your wig's backwards. Or something. I don't know. Maybe I've never done that, but if it's a close friend, maybe. I think that's what I'm picturing is, oops, my friend's worn her eyelashes upside down. Or something.
Maybe it's something like that.
I don't know. Is that even merited, do you think?
Put it this way. Say I
that.
had a hat that was definitely on backwards.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Say it was
if you
definitely
knew the
on backwards.
design, yeah.
I knew the design.
Yeah.
But they looks like... Okay, if...
This is like having food on your face and your friend doesn't tell you.
Okay.
This is what it
this
feels
is
like.
let's do the
Okay.
thing where what's that rule that they say about giving people comments about their looks?
I don't know.
Only kind of
What's the rule?
only like it's like a rule, but there's
Okay.
something. It's just to be polite
Yeah.
anyway. If it can be fixed in like 2 seconds,
Ah.
feel free to just say it's like, hey, just not sure if you know, but like, your fly's undone.
Yeah,
or
yeah, exactly.
You've got a bit of food on your face. If it's something that they cannot fix in 2 seconds, like, you know, comments
okay.
about weight,
Yeah.
comments
Oh,
about
God, yeah.
comments about you know, what they're
No.
wearing.
Yes.
Like, they
okay.
can't just change in 2 seconds.
Yeah,
right?
I understand that now.
Don't say anything.
Yeah.
So, you know, in terms of cosplay, I don't think that there's too much you can say that can be fixed. Unless it's
'cause
like,
it's
you've
unhelpful.
got, you know, your eyelashes starting to come loose, just wondering,
Yeah,
did you
yeah.
need some glue or something to help fix it up? You know, that might be something. But
Yeah.
if it's like, yeah, your wig's on backwards,
Yeah.
you can't change that. If it's like, oh, your
Yeah.
costume is not ironed,
Yeah.
you can't fix that.
Yeah, that's a bit unnecessary.
So, what's it? Let's call it the 2 second rule. 2 second rule, everyone.
Yeah, no, I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, if it can be fit. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's a good guide.
Good guys.
Is this part of your training? Your
Oh,
coach?
it is. It
coaching
is.
should be,
It's
yeah.
it's not part of the current setup I've
Yeah.
got, but it is part.
Yeah.
Here's some free training. 2 second rule.
Awesome.
2 second rule. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Competitions. Is there anything else that you felt like you wanted to? Kind of
I feel like there's a lot more that we didn't really talk about, but I don't know. Sort of covered groups, sort of covered entering solo.
Entering solo, just I guess the
our
benefits,
experiences.
the experience of doing it.
Yeah.
Had good ones, had bad ones.
Yeah. Would you give your advice for someone like who wants to enter and compete and do well, or not really?
Look, I think let's share a bit
Okay.
of what you've learned from doing competitions yourself.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you would, let's say, to a new entrant who's never done it before, and to someone who does enter frequently?
Yeah.
What are some things that you feel like you would? Well, we've got the platform to kind of talk about
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with someone new who's never entered before.
Yeah.
And people who kind of do enter on a regular basis that you feel, you know, probably could be noted, but that maybe they're unaware of it, or as someone who, you know, is someone who does it a lot yourself, what's advice that you would give yourself as someone who kind of does it regularly?
Yeah.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll start with that. What
Okay.
advice would you give to someone new?
With someone new, I would say definitely like picking out your character that you're cosplaying is a hugely probably the most important part, I would say, because a lot of the time I see people attempting these really intricate, complicated designs when I really think it doesn't need to be like that. Like, I think that simple can always be like a great idea, like pulling off a character really well.
Yeah.
That's simple is really impressive, and that way you have the more complex the design, the more things that can kind of go wrong or be off about a costume. So things like proportions and things like that, the more you have armor pieces that you have, the more things that could be slightly just a little bit off. Whereas this more simpler the design, it means that you can put absolutely all your attention into these 1 or 2 pieces to make them look absolutely as perfect as they can be, and that way it's a lot less stressful, I think, as a newcomer,
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
not give yourself months worth of work, to maybe give yourself, oh, this is going to be a project that I do after I get home from work, and I can do in my downtime, rather than, you know, something that's gonna ruin your life. And your savings as well.
Absolutely.
Don't invest a whole lot of money into something when you're just starting out. I think I always started out with buying fabric from the op shop and like, you know, getting old sheets and using that to make drafts rather than buying new fabric every time, because it can really add up and get very expensive. So I'd say it's a huge barrier to entry. So don't think you have to do something incredibly complicated, Kamui, like, you know, level of insane.
Because that's a pretty common criteria for judging in competitions, in which they're like, hey, look, we would prefer a simple costume done to a 10 out of 10 standard versus a really complicated costume done to a 5 out of 10 standard. Right?
Yeah, so usually they do grade you on accuracy and proportions, colours, things like that. Yeah, absolutely.
I think another big thing to keep in mind too is pick something that you genuinely like.
Yeah, and that you're obsessed with.
Over something that you think looks cool.
Yes,
because I've definitely done series in which I picked because I thought it looked complicated enough, it looked cool.
Yeah.
But I absolutely did not have as much fun making that versus something that was simpler, but I really liked as well.
Yeah, for sure. Don't stray away from like a character just because they have a super basic design.
Yeah.
Just do it, because you'll do it really well.
And you'll like doing it.
Yeah, and you'll have fun.
And in the middle of the night when you're like, oh, I need some chicken nuggets from McDonald's. Why am I doing this again? And you'll be like, oh, I'm doing it for Sonic. I'm doing it because I love Sonic.
Oh my gosh. No, I'd also say that I think a lot of beginners kind of forget the part where they actually will have to go on stage and present their costume to the judges even. So I think practicing those things can be extremely important.
Did you practice?
What
you would say to the judges when...
Yeah, for sure. Like,
did you?
A tip that I read was like, to make sure you don't forget anything is make sure you read from head to toe. Bits of your costumes, because that way you don't skip over anything. Because otherwise you might kind of think, you know, you just focus on one thing and you forget
everything else.
Everything overall. So I think it's important to go in with a plan, a rough structure that you can follow so you don't feel completely left in the dark. Because if you're faced with a panel of judges who are extremely impressive
very
and
intense,
have lots of accolades, it's going to be very hard to then think clearly about what you want to say. Yeah. So I think it's important to remember that that's part of the judging process. If, you know... You're
going to get judged. You're voluntarily getting judged.
So that you have a good time. Because you don't want to freak out and have a panic attack because you don't know how to do that. So, yeah, it's extremely important to practice that. Or be mentally prepared that that's going to happen. And to go on stage. Because, yeah, that can be scary.
How about for people who do enter things regularly? What do you think is something that, I don't know, you see that you feel that people kind of miss sometimes?
Yeah.
Or... maybe you feel like something's not done well that you feel like could be done better, or what's something consistent, I think, that you see that you feel like you'd want to say something like?
It's hard to say. Before we move on, though, do you have any advice for new first-timers?
I think I chipped in here and there.
Okay,
but
cool.
I think the basic thing is pick something you love.
Yeah,
and I think...
absolutely hardcore. Like, you need to love them.
You gotta love it.
You gotta want to be them.
And if it's like got a skit component, this is probably... what do you call it? Unpopular advice, unpopular opinion. Because when we picked we did The Promised Neverland, and there were about 5 or 6 things that you kind of shortlisted. Series that you shortlisted, and I definitely know that you liked some more than others.
Yeah.
But my, I guess, opinion for what we would do lay with how easy I could come up with a skit idea.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think skits are very easily... I think majority of people be like, I want to do this series, this costume, and it's going to be great. Now we have to think about a skit.
Yeah.
I think...
it can get really muddled.
It can very muddled, and it can kind of ruin your performance really if it's not solid. So I think for me, I was like, okay, let's pick the one which, you know, I think this is one that we both like to a fair degree. But the skit idea, this is
awesome
the one.
Skit. Yeah, I agree. I think it's nearly more helpful to come up with a skit. If it's a skit-based competition, what genre you want it to be. Do you want it to be like comedy, action, romance? And then find a series that fits that vibe and that aesthetic and that vision that you have going in. Because if you have a clear... The
vision's important.
For sure, it is. If you can picture it in your head, you're like... I think the science is that you're like 90% more likely to actually realise it.
Yeah, right.
There's actual science that if you can picture it in your head...
Cosplay science. I like it.
Yeah, it is. It is. Or like if you can picture you on stage and how it's going to go and what things are going to be said in character. That's another thing that you get judged on, though, is the accurate portrayal of your character. So you can't do a skit of like, I don't know, Sonic the Hedgehog catching Pokemon. Like it's...
He has to go fast somewhere.
Yeah. talk.
Oh, dear. Okay.
For more expert or more experienced entrants, I feel like I don't really have standing ground to talk on it because I've really only entered twice.
Right.
Or like 3 times if you count like the
Right.
finals. So I don't have an overall lot of experience because every time I watch a cosplay comp, like the environment is very different.
It is.
And the stage is always very different. It's very hard to judge like what they could do better because a lot of the time I'm busy thinking, God, this is a crap stage.
Yeah.
Or like, God, there's a crap host. Or like, like...
Wow. Right.
I'm sort of like, I always think that cosplayers are doing a great job, to be honest. But of course, sitting in the audience, you can't really see their costumes up close. So the only time I've judged twice, but I would say the main one I did was the ACACon.
Right.
And a lot of the cosplays were great. Like you can tell that they really cared about what they were entering.
I'm glad.
And that they were passionate. But I think a lot of people are still new on their journey of like learning to make things. So I think. Yeah, introduction of categories would be beneficial for emerging cosplayers because then they can
enter starting competitions. Yeah,
because then they can enter a amateur division or what do they call it?
Oh,
it's not amateur, is it?
I mean, some call it amateur division.
It's like beginners. Like
I think it's just good having like an array of prizes as well.
I
just
think
to
so
kind of
because if you're entering a competition and as soon as you get there, you see that there's a 10 years experience cosplayer who's in this huge armor build. You go, oh, why did I enter this? This is so disappointing.
The thing, like, just based on that, actually, the thing that I probably would say to people who are experienced in competition, and this it might be down to personal preference, it might be down to personality, whatever it might be, but as experienced as you are, as wonderful as your costume might be compared to someone else, I think the best thing you could do as an experienced competitor is not be focused on yourself. Now, when I say that is, this year's WCS round was fantastic with the people because everyone was talking to each other.
I agree.
Everyone was kind of having a chit-chat, regardless on if... I felt scary in Lewis. I could feel that people were just like, oh my God, Jerry made this, what the hell?
Yeah.
But I feel like what I did want to do, what I tried to do is kind of talk to other people.
You did, absolutely.
You know,
he barely spent any time in the actual costume as well. Was that why?
Bits and pieces. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Because I know everyone's got nerves. Everyone's sick to the stomach. Everyone doesn't want to eat. Everyone is tough to talk to.
Yeah.
And the worst thing you can possibly do is be that person in the corner who's just, brooding or doesn't want to talk to anyone or is very snappy. Like, I get it. I get that there's nerves involved. I get that there's, probably to some people a lot at stake. But I think the best thing you could do, especially if it's like, doesn't even have to be a big national competition, even just a local one, have a chat to people around you and say something nice.
Yeah.
It's like... hey, first competition, I love your wig. I love your costume.
I think that was happening at ACACon because I remember coming and seeing the line, going for pre-judging and they were having their little conversations.
It's really good to see
who they were next to. So
it's really good.
It was good environment.
It helps you and your nerves because you're getting out of your head.
Oh yeah.
But it helps the people around you as well because it's like, hey, that person who's wearing that amazing suit of armor, they've done this for 10 years. I'm just this little, My Hero Academia cosplay or whatever.
Yeah.
But they came over to me and said, hey, I really like your wigs. I love that character.
That can make a huge difference.
It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, for sure.
If I had that said to me by that cosplayer who said it's a secret, it would have changed my trajectory completely. I'd be like, wow, competition's awesome. Nothing bad to say.
Yeah. I think it's very different from the home local competitions versus the national championships though, because it's a lot more daunting to go up to someone in a national competition than it is in a local.
Well, that's just it. Even with the national competition, I feel like I've had more experiences where it's been like, oh, I don't want to talk to you because you're not a competitor, or you're not a competitor like me, so I don't want to waste my time talking to you. I've definitely had that treatment.
Me too. Yeah.
Be nice.
Everyone should just be a little nicer. That would be nice.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm very happy with everyone that I did get to meet this year.
Yeah, this year's WCS was incredible.
Everyone
all the
was
staff,
wonderful.
All the volunteers that we had working with us. Backstage, you literally... I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, probably can. Jeremy full stacked it right before we went on stage. Like full 3 meters in Lewis on the ground. And
guys, his what's their name? Mangalade.
Yeah.
His team Mangalade.
And
coming out. It's like, hang on a sec.
No, you're lying there. You're like, this is not good. That's not good. And I'm like, oh shit, what's broken now? But the volunteers that we had backstage were all so helpful with like
so lovely.
trying to get you back up and like fix you all up and before you went out right before on stage. So none of them freaked out. None of them were
good.
like, oh no. Like they all were calm, collected. It was fantastic. Like
Good experience.
I don't know. Yeah, if someone had freaked out, that would have affected me as well, like right before going on stage. So I'm glad.
You would have run a bit faster around the stage, I reckon.
Probably. True, it would have whacked us fine. Yeah, if you're nervous about entering competition, just play a nervous character.
Works well. She did it
very
good. She did it real good.
But yeah. I think that wraps up my like advice. I don't really have a lot of advice to give, but I'm still learning.
Still learning. We're all still learning.
Still
on
figuring
a path
out.
of figuring out.
Yeah, what characters I love and which ones I hate. No.
We'll figure it out bit by bit.
Huh?
We'll figure it out bit by
Yes.
bit. Well, I think that's it for the competition stuff, eh?
I think so.
So I think that was a pretty good
episode.
Pretty good episode?
I think so. I think I got pretty heated.
Oh, that's the point. You get
Shared
full
some
passion.
drama.
Oh, there's got to be stories to tell. That's
Yeah.
what it's all about.
But if you are entering a competition anytime soon, best of luck with it and don't go overboard.
Just
don't overdo it.
Love yourself.
Love yourself.
Love yourself. Put
Remember, your
yourself
health
first.
comes first.
And if you liked what you listened to today, it's JustBeCos. We'll come up with logos and whatnot and theme music.
Hopefully, we already have one by now.
Oh, hopefully by the time you're watching this.
Yes.
We'll see how we go. But yeah, we'll come out with more. We're going to aim to do one a week.
Yeah.
And we'll put all the details in the description below wherever
Yeah.
we're posting this. Oh, that's my stomach going off.
I was going to say.
I'm
I'm going to go get some food now.
Yeah, get some food. We'll see how we go. And we'll be back with another episode next week.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening, and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.